Now entering Nerdist.com.
Hello, what's up, guys?
What's up?
How you doing?
Thanks, guys.
I hope you had a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It is December 2nd, 2013. And this is Today We Learned, episode number 17. 17 again.
What was that? That was when I was 17. It was a very good episode.
It was a very good episode because our guest is Jay Larson.
Jay Larson.
He was so much fun to have here.
He's such a fun guy. He's
yeah,
got a,
I didn't realize we grew up in towns right next to each other.
Yeah,
that's
you guys
too cool.
are town twins.
Yeah, that's what we call them, town
Townies.
twins. Townie twins.
Townie twins. Jay Larson. This was a fun episode. He's got a really. I learned this at the end. You'll find out at the end of this episode. But he's got a show coming out this week.
Yeah, on Esquire Network, the new style channel, Esquire Network.
Yeah.
So tune in, see him on the
best bars in
America, I believe.
Yep. And this is a fun episode to record with Jay, and we want to thank him for joining us. And,
but first
we want to thank.
We'd like to thank today's sponsor, HostGator.com.
HostGator.
Not HostCroc.com. They host weird shoes. HostGator.
HostGator.
HostGator.com. It is your one-stop website shop. HostGator makes it simple to get your professional website online quick.
Yeah,
and
check
plans.
This out. The plans start at just $3.47.
Did you say just $3.74?
They start
You
at...
said 47 cents. 74, I would not pay that.
What did I say, 74?
No, you were right. I made the mistake.
Yes.
Plans start at just $3.47 a month. You guys, don't buy 347 penny candies this month.
No.
Don't go to the general store.
Nope.
Go to HostGator.com and launch your project. Start your website because you know what? Once you get that domain name, that is going to be your representative out on the World Wide Web.
Yeah, that's you. And let's face it, by the way, while you're looking for a domain names are hard to come by.
Yeah, getting a good .com is hard to do.
It's hard to do. So you know what you do?
What? What do you do?
You get a .net. Powered by VeriSign.
Powered by VeriSign.
Powered. I said Boward. That's how excited I am about VeriSign.
Byron Boward by VeriSign.
Powered by VeriSign because, on the other hand, they still have a ton of... The .nets, on the other hand, have lots
you can
available.
get plenty of awesome names.
Plenty.
Yeah, whatever you want. Today we learned .net. Please don't take that.
Please don't take that.
So, once you have your domain name, it's time to build your website. And you're probably thinking, but I just can't build a website. I just bought the domain. That's all I can do.
I don't
Guess
know how
what?
to build things.
Much like He-Man, you have the power. It's been inside of you all along.
You have the power.
So, I have the power is
By
more
the power
what I was
of
thinking.
VeriSign.
Yes. VeriSign is the Grayskull of... No, it's a good thing. Grayskull's evil. VeriSign is good. They're helping you get your project done.
Grayskull's where He-Man lives. That's the
He-Man is the land of Eternia, but Castle Grayskull is occupied by Skeletor.
Nope, that's Snake Mountain.
Is it?
Daniel doesn't know what he's talking about. Hey, everybody, let's make fun of Daniel for not knowing about cartoons.
I feel like a real Orko. Anyway,
HostGator is you can
use their drag and drop builder on WordPress because there's no need to code. HostGator will make it easy to get your site up and running with just a few clicks, and WordPress it's super fast, super easy. So many cool plugins you can add. You can check all your analytics. You can add cool features, comment systems. It'll make your life a lot easier if you're trying to build something really robust. Yeah. But how do you how do you help the show? How do you help yourself? Head over to HostGator.com, buy some hosting, get some .nets, and use the coupon code LEARNED30. As in 30 great reasons to get a .net powered by VeriSign. So this will get you an extra 30% off. It'll help support the show, and we really appreciate it. We just really appreciate you guys listening.
We like you guys.
We also really appreciate it when you listen to our sponsor because,
the sponsor helps keep the show going, and the listeners help keep the show going even more.
This is really, the more you support the show, the closer we get to fulfilling Razzle's lifelong dream of having a Scrooge McDuckian gold coin vault that he can jump in and swim through.
Made out of pillows,
so please,
it don't hurt my neck.
Help his wish come true.
Yeah, we really appreciate. I know it's redundant, but, if you guys help HostGator, that they'll see that, you guys like us, and they'll help support our show even more. And we, you guys listen to this show week on and week off. Is that a thing, week on and week off? Regardless, we want to thank you guys again. We say it every week, but we really appreciate you guys listening and giving us good reviews and telling your friends and all of that stuff. And,
so enough corporate chilling for us.
Absolutely.
Let's get to the good stuff. And today we learned number 17 with Jay Larson.
Today we learned. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Welcome back to another episode of Today We Learned.
Today we learned.
My name is Razzle.
And I'm Dan.
And with us is the very funny Jay Larson.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, thanks for being
up,
here,
guys?
Jay.
Thanks,
Thanks
Jay.
for having me.
Welcome to the studio. You've seen Jay on Conan Ferguson, and he's got a really great podcast that's slowly becoming my new favorite podcast, aside from my own, called the Crabfeast podcast.
That's true.
And that's on the new All Things Comedy Network, which is
indeed.
really, they got quite a few awesome podcasts.
They
on
sure
there.
do. They sure do.
So what is, as someone who loves crab and that name, but has not listened yet to the podcast, what is it exactly?
Well, first of all, anyone who hasn't listened, I'd rather not have any conversation
All
with
right,
you at all.
I'll see you guys later.
Yeah,
There we go.
I'd see if you...
Yeah.
Basically, it's like a storytelling podcast. I host it, or co-host it with Ryan Sickler, another hilarious comedian, and then we have guests on, and we just basically... It's like conversational storytelling. It's not planned. Nothing's... we sometimes we'll have like a jumping off story if someone has something they want to tell, and then we just kind of like, go. That's why, like, when we mentioned earlier, I'm like, oh, we can just talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we do. It's pretty simple, but it's fun. You just feel like you're hanging out with old friends. Like, Rye is from Maryland. I'm from Massachusetts. And Rye had started the podcast with another guy, Matt Fultron, very funny comedian who's got a great podcast of his own. And then Matt moved, so I took over, and we just kept the name. But it's not like Crabfeast is a Maryland thing, but we just made it like, oh, it's like hanging out with your buddies in the backyard, just sitting around, like, telling
having some crab.
stories. Yeah.
Yeah, like
And
a
it's-
bonfire without a bonfire.
Yeah, exactly. Crabfeast with no
it's-
craps. Yeah.
yeah.
So, like, I remember I was home doing a college with Tommy John again, and it was at Tufts University in Medford.
Oh, it's actually where I went.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
there you go. It's like 2 towns over from us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, do you want to get some drinks afterwards? And he's like, yeah. And I go, all right, like, all my high school buddies are here, so this might turn into like a story fest. I just want to give you the heads up. And you just cut to my, like, none of my buddies can just one person tell a story. One guy tells a story, and then my buddy will help me like, hold on. You're forgetting the most important, but you know. Like, literally, I had my buddy from high school. He calls me every day. He's hilarious. One of the funniest people I know. And, like, whenever I have someone else in the car, I'm like, yo. And I just put it on speaker. And I just go, yo. And he'll be like, there he is. And he's just always fired up. And he's just talking fantasy football. And I'm like, dude, I got to go. He's like, talk to you later. Like, you can just cut him up like, I'm out. And he's like, all right.
You need to start doing bonus episodes where it's just playing the voicemail of corrections, the corrections department.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
all
exactly,
your friends
right.
from calling in and, hey, this isn't the story.
you left out about
you
that.
left out this.
Well, he just started listening to the podcast, and so now he's like addicted.
Okay.
Everyone does that. They never listen, and then they start listening, and then they like rifling through episodes.
Go through backlogging.
Yeah, so he'll call me, and he's like, "Just listen to 5 eps of the Crabfeast." I'm just like, awesome, dude. And he goes, "I didn't remember that," and he starts. He tells stories better than I do, but
Should have him on.
I know, but he'd probably get camera shot.
Oh, yeah.
I have a buddy who just started listening to this podcast, and he's like, "Guess what I did all weekend?" And I'm like, "Seen a Tom Hanks movie." I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
that's a huge thing.
Yeah,
You
built a
can't-
shed.
Yeah. And shed. That's an East Coast thing too. I
Yeah.
like it. But he's like, I started listening to your podcast, and I'm like, oh, cool, thanks. And he's like, I want to play a drinking game, and I'm like, okay. Which, when somebody says that means they definitely did a marathon. And he's like, I want to play a drinking game where every time you say I'm not a scientist, you take a drink, and every time you confess your love of peanut butter, you take a drink. And I say those a lot on the show, but you really wouldn't notice it unless you listen to like
all of
8
them.
in a row. Yeah.
That's the best. Well, that's where you get your fans when they're
Yeah.
dialed in and they know all your inside,
Yeah.
you
So
know,
that's-
idiosyncrasies.
Yeah. Cool. Well, as we start the show, we like to start the show off with either having the guests bring a fact about themselves or something they recently learned, etc. Cool little
Yeah, you guys had
anecdote
mentioned
or whatever.
that.
Yeah.
It's funny because a lot of our podcast fans know almost everything about me,
Yeah.
but
Or is there anything you learned recently? Or you were mentioning you and Dan have
We actually grew up in
a bread
towns
business
right next to
and-
each other.
Right next
I
to
grew
each
up
other,
right
yeah.
on the Wakefield-Stoneham border.
oh, really? What street?
Merriam Street, right off of Forest.
Right off of Forest. That's great. I mean, dude, that's hilarious. Yeah, because Wakefield, Stoneham, Melrose. Did you play any sports in high
I
school?
did. I played lacrosse, soccer. I did a little track
Did you
and
play?
field at
Wait,
some
did you
point.
play at Wakefield High, soccer at Wakefield High?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I played Stoneham High. We used to play you guys
Very
all
nice.
the time, man.
My dad was actually he was assistant superintendent in Stoneham for a while.
Who?
Joe Casey.
Joe I mean, that might have been after me.
Yeah, I think it was maybe he was around the time when I was in high school and like middle school, I think.
Dude, the Warriors, bro.
Yeah.
You know how many times I walked Wakefield Lake, dude? Lake Quannapowitt?
Quannapowitt.
My Aunt Lil used to take us swimming there, dude. You want to talk about white trash?
Oh, yeah.
There's like, it's a man-made lake.
Yeah, it's
and then
not the cleanest in the world.
No, and with a man-made beach, and you have to get passes. And like my Aunt Lil, that was like our summer entertainment. Is she would take us over to Quannapowitt, and while my mother was working, we'd swim over there.
It's a very popular place to walk around.
Now, I'm not from Massachusetts.
Get out.
And those cities,
what?
Those cities you've been discussing are from Massachusetts.
Yes.
Here. How close are they in accordance with Quincy, Massachusetts?
With Quincy, I'd say they're about 15, 20 minutes away,
15,
depending
20
on
minutes,
traffic. Yeah.
Because that actually brings me to.
Oh, I see what you did there. Seamless segue.
Dunkin' Donuts.
D&D, baby.
D&D, not in Los Angeles yet.
They are coming in 2015 to California, starting with, I believe, on a military base, and then they're going to expand rapidly.
I like
from there.
it. They're coming as if it's like they're forging the West.
Yeah, it's the Transcontinental Railroad of coffee shops.
And they advertise it years in advance just to build up.
Well, they know
excitement.
how many East Coast transplants are out here just jonesing for medium regular.
Big time.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, it's like it's not like, I mean, I guess it would be like Starbucks in Seattle, but like D&D, it was never about the coffee.
No.
You know what I mean? It's not like the most, I don't think, I'm not a huge coffee guy. It's just about like that was the coffee that was available.
Yeah, it's
and that's
on
what you drank.
it's like, it feels like it's almost a state law in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
You have to have one on every city
It's
block.
like the Tim Hortons in Canada.
Yeah.
It's,
Big
it's
time.
the
it's just familiar,
the
and it's just it's solid for cheap coffee as far as cheap coffee is concerned. I think it's better than the Starbucks just normal stuff because they burn the shit out of their beans.
Yeah.
25,000 people in my town. Guess how many Dunkin' Donuts?
15.
Like, what are you? One for every. I don't know what that. Those are big odds.
That's too many.
No, but we had 4.
Yeah, I think we have 3 or 4 in Wakefield as well. It's
Crazy.
silly.
Yeah.
But it's. I mean, we're also like a huge commuter town. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, back to Dunkin' Donuts.
back to it.
Double
Learn some
Ds.
stuff. Dunkin' Donuts was founded in 1950 by a gentleman named William Rosenberg in Quincy, Massachusetts.
Billy.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking
Billy
about
Rose.
Quincy, Massachusetts.
Rosenberg.
Now, the company, speaking of coffee and Starbucks and all that, the company primarily competes with Starbucks as over half of the company's business is in coffee sales.
But important distinction when it comes to donuts, their chief competitor is Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They opened a Krispy Kreme, in I think not Somerville, but like
It was around there. It was I know exactly what you're talking
and
about.
my mother and her friends would go there for like, oh, what are you doing tonight? Like, we went to dinner, then we went to Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, they opened a Krispy Kreme in Massachusetts. It was the first time they did it, and lines would be down the block and like on the highway. It caused too much traffic, and then it went out of business because people were like, we're done with this.
Yeah, well,
done
I mean,
with it,
they
bro.
had that whole gimmick of when the red light's on, the donuts are fresh.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, that only works for...
Well, first of all, it's Dunkin' Donuts. Everyone grew up on it. You know?
Yeah.
You can't...
All except for me.
They got home field advantage.
Yeah.
My donuts, I was telling you earlier, my grandfather's bakery,
Uh-huh.
which was in Wakefield, Massachusetts,
Yes.
the Holiday Bakery. That was where I got a honey dip donut, bro.
Donuts. I love donuts so
Me
much.
too, man. Imagine getting them on the reg.
Yeah.
Imagine going into a donut shop and then walking behind the counter, grabbing a donut, and then going back to like the baker's table, going all the way around it to where the coffee tin with the M&Ms was, and just putting your hand in it and
I'm
scooping
jealous.
it out.
My grandfather owned a swimming pool store, so I'm like,
What a
Get to
loser!
swim in a bunch of
What
empty
a
pools.
So,
loser!
yeah.
Must have been great if you were a skateboarder.
Yeah, well... But,
Above ground only.
Yeah.
though. These guys above ground.
the East Coast, believe it or not, primarily swimming pools are vinyl liners.
Yeah.
Because with the cold weather and all
Yeah,
that,
they would
you have the
crack and all
vermiculite
that.
bottom, which is like a soft concrete sand, which
Listen,
pliable and all that.
everybody knows what vermiculite is.
Yeah.
You don't need to get everyone's face about it, okay? We all know about vermiculite.
And they had, because of the freezing and the cooling on the East Coast, you need vinyl liners because otherwise, if you had the cement pools like out here, they would crack too much.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
Yeah. So most in-ground
Yeah, we
pools
really
on
are
the East
learning, man.
Yeah.
Coast are vinyl
And I've got
liners.
some other, getting back to coffee for a second.
Absolutely.
I've
Let's
got
learn.
some other fun factoids about Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
They sell on average about 30 cups of coffee a second.
A second.
That's pretty crazy to think about. Actually, coffee is actually the world's second largest commodity after oil. So once we're done in the Middle East, we are coming for the coffee-producing nations of the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Coffee's...
The second largest commodity in the world. Think about it. Everyone needs
Yeah.
coffee. Like, It's tea may be the beverage of choice in certain nations, but
opposed to, like,
they still
tobacco,
gotta have their coffee, their Americanos, their espressos, what have you.
How many other coffee drinks can you name?
Probably quite a few.
You ever had a Cafe Millet?
I have not. I've had a Gibraltar.
Bro. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it giant?
No, it was actually tiny.
That's
it's
a
like
funny
3
joke.
ounces.
That's a hilarious joke.
Yeah.
What's Cafe Millet? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Cafe Millet. It's like getting a cafe latte, but with the steamed milk, they mix in honey and cinnamon, so it's a honey and cinnamon.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, bro. It's unbelievable. And then I was just in Minnesota. I had an autumnal latte, and they were putting condensed milk in that son of a
Wow.
bitch. And it was...
Man.
It must have just been like thick and delicious.
Oh, dude.
The frap of coffees.
It was yeah, exactly. You say frap?
I say frappuccino.
Yeah.
No, frap.
No, frap.
See?
Frap
See?
is
They don't
this is
know.
also
They
a
don't
regional
know,
term.
Different thing. There's two
This is
different
a
things.
regional term. Frap is generally in the Massachusetts, New England
shake.
area. It's a milkshake.
Oh, okay.
They tend to be a little bit
You don't
thicker
know
than
what
your
you're getting.
standard milkshakes. Actually, in Rhode Island, I don't know how popular this still is, but they used to call it a cabinet.
Oh,
So
okay.
that is,
Yeah, no.
kind of like the hoagie grinder sub debate.
We have in Michigan
Hero.
we
Yeah.
had malteds and shakes. We didn't
Gotcha.
have no fraps or anything.
Well, we had that too. You had a shake,
We had
a
a
frap,
shake.
and a malt. A malt is just a shake with malt.
With malt mix,
powder, yeah. But I mean, when you rocked out to Friendlies, you know what I mean? You
See, we didn't have friendlies. We had DQs. We had I think we had A&Ws. Michigan, I was in a small town. I come from a town with like 30,000 population, Bay City, Michigan.
yeah, mine was
We didn't have a whole lot.
25.
Yeah.
But I've been to a lot of towns in Michigan, small towns. I love
Yeah.
that. That state's pretty cool.
It's getting better.
I'm wearing a Michigan watch and Michigan boots right now,
Okay.
bro. I'll have to keep it real.
Are you like Michigan the college or Michigan just
I like Ann Arbor,
Ann Arbor's a
Grand
good town.
Rapids.
Grand Rapids is
Yeah,
a really
both
they're
really
really
cool
booming. Grand
towns.
Rapids is coming back into
Yeah.
they're really being
Oh,
like,
they're coming back big time, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to be like New York, L.A., Grand Rapids, dude. he was on board. Did you see his
Superpower.
face? He was like,
Yeah, he's
yeah, yeah.
Whoa!
Oh,
Until
come
you said
on,
those,
man.
but I mean, Grand Rapids over the last 20 years in my lifetime, Grand Rapids has really become more of a population town where people my age,
A
kids,
population town?
Well, yeah, you know what I mean.
Dude,
Destination.
dude, you know what they got now? Population, bro.
What?
They got-
I thought it was just abandoned building.
No,
they got-
they got human beings, man.
Civilians. It's
just a bunch
they're
of
getting
empty
more
Thai restaurants.
There's more there for young people to move to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people they move out of state. A lot of people I know, a lot of my younger cousins are moving there after college to start families and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you know what young people like? Starbucks. You know what they like? A
Starbucks.
lot of Starbucks. You know what they'd probably like? Santa Fe Springs, California, because
Okay.
that has the highest concentration of Starbucks of anywhere in the United States.
Really?
With a whopping 560 Starbucks locations in a 25-mile radius.
No, Santa Fe
That is
Springs.
horrifying.
I don't know where that is.
Me either. I don't want to know where
Is
Santa
that
Fe
somewhere
Springs
where
is.
I'm assuming that's
Can you do the math on that, please?
Yeah, that's...
It's got to be
25
Silicon
square
Valley.
miles, 560.
That's like one every.
That's
Every
50.
22.4 per square mile.
It's like one every 20 miles.
Is that you
One
positive?
I just divided the two
That's like
numbers.
one
I'm
every
probably
20
wrong,
people.
but...
That's
Wait,
like two,
hold on. 560 Starbucks.
Yes.
25 square miles?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds right. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
25 miles. That's from say Culver City to Sherman. No, Sherman Oaks. That's only 8 miles.
Well, put
Yeah,
it this way.
it's,
Boston is 43.6 square miles.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you take that. So you're looking at a size a little smaller than Boston.
Yeah.
500. I mean, how many? I bet Starbucks. I mean, do you have that stat? Do you have any stats? I mean, I don't know. It doesn't have to be all about Boston.
Yeah.
Except let's
here's
make
the
it all
thing.
about Boston.
Here's another fact about Boston. While we're talking about Boston, Boston built the very first subway system in the United States
What's up, players?
in the year 1897. It's the Tremont Street subway in Boston's.
Come on, bro.
Boston subway
Tremont,
system.
bro. Tremont.
Tremont. What did I say? Tremont.
Tremont.
Well, here's the deal. We have a street called Fremont, so it's I didn't know.
God,
No, I know. It's
Sorry, it's just funny. It's like I had the same thing here when I called it like Wilshire instead of
I
Wilshire.
prefer to
Pico.
call it
Yeah.
Wilshire, like the Hobbits. The Hobbits traveled down Wilshire. But the Tremont Street subway in Boston subway system is the oldest subway tunnel in North America. It opened on September 1st, 1897. It was originally built to get streetcar lines off of the traffic-clogged streets instead of as a true rapid transit line.
1897, by the way, was also the first year of radial rubber tires.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. That's
That's good to know. See?
Yeah.
It's the kind of facts that just come up.
The tire business is also what put out all of the trolley car business in San Francisco and all of that. That's why most, aside from New York and the East Coast big cities, why we don't have great transit systems because of the tire and the red car business, much like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It was based off of that story.
That's why they had to change what their San Francisco treat was from a trolley ride to a bowl of instant rice.
Yeah. Two things. One, that wasn't true.
No?
No. I mean, how many people do you think really know the start date of radial tires?
I don't know.
But
Might be one of those things that just sticks in your head and you read it one time.
I'm pretty sure Los Angeles was the first city designed around the automobile.
I think that is
And I think it was
probably true.
Ford was big time in. I think it was. I'm gonna always guess Roosevelt because there's two of them, so you always have a chance. But I think he was in there. They were in his pocket, dude. Straight up cars, man. Automobiles.
Trust me.
Which all went down to
People
oil, which
hate public transportation. They want to drive everywhere.
Well, now I can't wait for that.
They will love it when they're living in Silver Lake and their friend invites them to something in Santa Monica. They will love driving those 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would probably be true because Chicago's got a great transit system.
Mm-hmm.
They got all the subway cars, they
sure
were
do.
relatively new. So
The L.
yeah.
Boston has a great subway system. I mean, there are certain I hate Logan Airport.
Yeah.
I love LAX. I think it's one of the easiest airports going.
Yeah, it's
outside
you
the
just gotta
small
hit it
ones.
at the right time.
Yeah, but it's easy to navigate. Once you're there, you never
it's true.
you never have I never change flights in it. You know what I mean? But I'm always changed. Minneapolis, I've walked 2 miles before in that.
I hate that.
That's actually they did. I forget where I was reading this recently, but they did a study. People used to get really upset by the amount of time they had to spend in layover when they were changing flights, and they did this study where they put them further away, and people spent more time walking from point A to point B, and they found that they got markedly fewer complaints.
Oh God!
So it's just that people just needed something to do. They're just hamsters in a wheel. That's
this was
all.
before technology.
Yeah,
this is before you sit down at a restaurant at an airport and there's an iPad that you order from.
Exactly.
Don't even speak to a human.
Yeah. Yeah, they're also
my layover reminded me a lot of my cell phone.
Well, no, that's funny you mentioned the iPad thing because in Saudi Arabia they have just come out with this. This was one pizza chain just came out with a magnet. You put it on your fridge and you press a button and it sends a signal to your computer and orders a pizza, and you don't have to interact with anyone until it shows up. You fill out you sign up for it. You tell them your info. You give them your credit card one time, and then you just press the button on your fridge.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of anti.
Yeah, it's a little too much. There's
anti.
in this video game EverQuest 2, they had a command. You could type /pizza, then Pizza Hut would deliver a pizza to your fat ass at home playing the computer game just by typing a command. I mean, that's cool in one regard, but at the same time, it's a little disheartening. If you want the pizza, just go online and order it. Pick up your phone and order it. Just take some agency over your dinner.
What kind of pizza though? Are we doing?
I think you would program it or I don't know, pepperoni.
Yeah, you probably had your favorites lined up or whatever.
I don't know. Technology concerns me, but then again, I'm very excited. I'm excited for Google Glass. I'm excited. I have two little nephews, and I'm jealous that they're gonna see way more advancement in technology than I'm gonna see.
Well, I figured you would because we're at Nerdist Industries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I growing up where your grandfather owned a bakery and people went to it and we were around. I'm older than you guys. So I was around before
Not
technology.
By much. What are you, 38, 39?
37, yeah.
37. I'm 31. So
okay,
still.
but so you were around before the internet, but now it's there's just I just feel like we're losing human connection.
Especially when you see a toddler with an iPad
here's the thing.
Yeah.
I just found this out. I was talking to my grandmother the other day, and she was livid. I mean, she was upset. More upset than she should be. But I have two little cousins that are 16 years old, and they had it was their birthday or something or whatever, and she wrote a card for them, and she writes cursive, and they couldn't read it because in grade school and in high school they were never taught how to read or write in cursive because everything nowadays is on computer, and it's
a lot of schools are phasing that out of their curriculum.
That's it's definitely a pointless form of writing.
Put it this way, I don't write in cursive.
No.
My wife does, and she's got beautiful penmanship.
My girlfriend writes in cursive as well, and it is faster. I will say it is faster. It's just the hand moves. You don't have to keep picking it up. But at the same time, it never took for me. And I'm the only time I use cursive now is my signature.
Yeah.
And even that
Yeah.
is slowly getting more and more
signature's a
italic to the
scribble.
point of just scribbles.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can read and write cursive, but that goes to talk about how technology is so far
Yeah.
advancing. Like when I learned how to type, it was on an old typewriter, and my high school typewriting class had old typewriters.
Yeah, I bet. Or word processor.
Yeah.
I'm just not even talking about that. I don't care about, you can do all that, but I feel like the human connection's lost. Like, people don't have hunches anymore. They don't have gut feelings anymore. You know what I mean?
They have
You just-
WebMD.
Yeah, you just rely on everything else to
Yeah.
handle and figure things out, when it's like, that was like the greatest thing for me about being a kid, was just living life and figuring life out.
Well, this is why the robots are going to rise up and kill us all.
Yeah.
That's, I hope, I mean, I honestly think at some point, either in our children or their children's children, that just do you guys like Flight of the Conchords?
Yeah,
Do you remember their first special? Do you remember that one? It goes, children, it's children's children, and it's children's children's children. He goes, it just turns into a Russian doll thing. Anyway, I think there's going to be a huge technology, like, revolution, destruction, where it's just, we're going to lose it all and have to start over.
Everything.
I hope.
If there's one thing I've learned from, I watch a lot. Obviously, this is on Nerdist. I watch a lot of sci-fi movies. Not only is technology progressing like sci-fi movies, like Minority Report, so many things from Minority Report with like the Xbox Connect and all that, and the cell phones. We have those. It doesn't. I will not be surprised if we also have the revolution of like the technology where there's an EMP and it just shuts the world down and people gotta it's like the apocalypse without technology.
Yeah.
Where people gotta.
How hilarious is that? You mean the 80s?
Yeah.
It turns into the 80s again.
Yeah, I'm a little. Actually, I have to say, I'm a little disappointed that 2013 LA doesn't look a heck of a whole lot like Escape from Los Angeles. I was expecting more.
You're expecting more, huh?
Yeah, I just want to
been
see
to
Snake
Tokyo?
Plissken wandering around. I want to see him making free throws.
I thought you were dead.
I can't even relate. I have no idea what we're even talking about.
Have you seen the movie Escape
No.
from Los
Escape
Angeles?
from Los
Sequel to
Angeles,
Escape from New York?
No.
Kurt Russell. It's some of his finest work.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Speaking of Kurt Russell,
Go on.
Go on. Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx's real name is not Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx was born under the name Eric Marlin Bishop. It's a fun fact about Jamie Foxx.
That's a
there.
tight name, by the way.
Yeah,
Eric Marlin Bishop.
I'll give you a fun fact about Jamie Foxx. I once golfed with these two kids that were valets at a hotel, and they were telling me the night before or 2 nights before, Jamie Foxx was in with his buddy and got in a huge blowout with Cat Williams.
Oh, no
Okay,
way.
huge blowout, and he was wasted. And so they said to one of these valets, they're like, "Listen, you got to drive Jamie Foxx home, like in his Phantom." So Jamie Foxx, this kid drove Jamie Foxx home in his Phantom with his buddy in the back seat, right? And then a limo followed them to the thing, and then he took the kid took the limo home.
Wow.
So he rolled in the Phantom with them, and Jamie Foxx the whole time was like, "You believe that fucking," just ripping on Cat Williams, that motherfucker, and going nuts. Then he called Steve Harvey on the phone. He's like, "What the fuck is with this guy?" Going nuts, and like this whole thing's going on. This kid said he's just sitting there like driving this Phantom,
What do you
having
do?
this amazing. I mean, that's amazing. That's so hilarious,
Just
dude.
yes, man, the
phenomenal.
whole conversation.
Jamie Foxx is a beast. If you like comedy and you appreciate talent, fucking Ray, dude. Have you seen Ray?
Yeah.
Have you watched that movie?
Yeah.
He's good.
How many
great.
times?
Once.
Once.
When it came out.
You know what? You have no opinion on this movie. What about you?
I've seen it a couple times. I enjoy it.
Oh, now look at that. He was going to
Yeah.
say once, too. He's like, God damn, I'll just go.
Yeah,
a couple times."
twice.
He is unbelievable.
I've seen
now.
Escape from New York more times, but
I believe it.
Jamie Foxx is. I mean, there's definitely. I feel like comedic actors. I mean, granted, you got your DiCaprios, you got your Johnny Depps, you got your Pitts, who are all great actors. But I feel like comedic actors like Jamie Foxx or like Jim Carrey or those actors who can really deliver with comedy are also really great dramatic actors.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's. I mean,
If you want
they
to see
don't-
something hilarious, people probably think it's underrated because you probably, I understand a lot of people wouldn't see this, but if you can go watch Jamie Foxx's early stand-up and he does a whole bit about a stripper that's in a wheelchair, the physical comedy, it looks, you think you're watching someone it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. That guy's really talented.
I will do that.
And he used to be friends with Pablo Francisco when they were both at UC San Diego or San
Really?
Diego State.
Okay.
And Pablo told me that Jamie Foxx would come over and be like, "Hey man, can I use your keyboard?" Because Pablo would have a keyboard and would do all his voices and stuff.
Yeah.
And Jamie was always doing music too, so he'd come over and be like, play the keyboard and stuff like that. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
It's really neat.
yeah. I enjoyed his.
That's
music
something
video.
you can learn by. That's something you're going to learn not by searching through a Google web search, but by having actual human interaction.
Unless you're searching for this episode of Today We Learn podcast,
Exactly.
available on Nerdist.com.
Yeah. That's
Good
neat.
point.
That's awesome.
I cut you off. I'm sorry.
it's okay. No,
I had to get it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say I enjoyed Jamie Foxx's musical efforts as well. That
Yeah, man.
that video for "Blame It on the Alcohol" was hilarious because you got like Jake Gyllenhaal, Forrest Whitaker, Ron Howard up in the club.
It's crazy that
Yeah.
he's like, "Hey, yo, can you dial in on this?" By the way, speaking of, have you guys seen that David Blaine special?
No,
Can I be honest? I didn't know anything about it till every motherfucker's tweeting about it.
this is the one where he's like doing a bunch
Harrison
of magic
Ford-
with celebrities.
Yeah.
It just came out like 2 days ago.
I have not seen it
I
yet.
TiVoed it. It just was on. It was
didn't even know
on.
anything
I haven't
about it.
watched it, but someone posted a clip of Bryan Cranston and, excuse me, from Breaking Bad and
Yeah.
Jesse from Breaking Bad in a room with him in Vegas, and he does this trick. I watched it today.
Aaron Paul, his name is
Yeah. That's why I said from Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
fuck.
Brian Cranston has real.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Anyway, it's so sick, dude. Do you guys believe in magic?
I mean, here's
That's
the
a
thing.
thing, by the way.
I believe in sleight of hand.
I believe in sleight of hand.
It depends when it's that kind of magic. No. But I'd be more inclined to believe in
See-
like fucking Stonehenge or something. That's more my speed. That's like some shit happened
supernatural.
here.
This is an antenna to the demons.
I'd say I'm not like don't lump me in with like ghost hunters and all that stuff. But
David Blaine basically just, can I tell you this trick or no?
Absolutely.
They had done something before with like $100 bill, like he wrote his name on it, and like now Bryan Cranston had it in his pocket, no big deal.
Yeah.
So then they're onto another trick, and he's got like, he takes the deck of cards and he's mixed it all up. So some are upside down, some are right side, blah, blah, blah. And he gives it to Aaron Paul, and he goes, "Here, man, shuffle those. And when you shuffle those one time, they'll all be right side up." You know what I mean? So he shuffles them, and he puts them together, and then he goes, "All right, now lay them all out," and he lays them all out, and Bryan Cranston's like, "Oh, he didn't do so good." He's like, "Yeah, he didn't do so good. They weren't all flipped back over." So then they start reading the numbers off, like maybe there's like some kind of thing to it, and he's like, "No." And then Dave Blaine goes, "You know what, man? Take that $100 bill out of your pocket and read the serial number off." And it was the serial number.
oh
in
my
order.
god.
Now, I believe in sleight of hand too, but fuck you. There's no way. Especially when you give the cards to someone else, that's
Yeah.
manipulation of universes, worlds, dimensions.
Yeah.
Don't laugh at that, bro.
That's definitely I used to dabble in sleight of hand when I was in high school. With the simple
Did you
tricks.
now? Did you now?
Like the simple where each deck of cards could do a separate set of tricks or whatever, and you have like the foam balls and all that. And I understand the concept of
You ever get into cups?
a little bit
Cup work?
with
Yeah.
the foam balls though, because
Yeah.
they're easily collapsed and hidden. But I understand the concept of like forcing a playing card on someone, like you convince them to pick the card you need for a trick. But when it comes to me giving you a $100 bill that you've never seen before and being able to do all of that with a brand new piece of,
what's the
That's
great thing about
baffling.
the celebrities too is it just puts immediate legitimacy because you trust them so
Yeah,
much.
exactly.
Especially Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, you're like,
Bryan-
dude,
like-
if they're into it, I'm into it.
He won
bro.
so many Emmys. Like he's got a. This is real.
He's won so many Emmys for acting. There's no way he
No
could act
way
like
this
this
is
trick
fake.
is.
He wouldn't lie to me.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Breaking Bad, shifting
Okay.
gears slightly, Breaking Bad, all about the sale of meth, another terrible drug, heroin. But where did heroin come from? Everyone's always wondering.
Yeah.
Heroin was first synthesized by C.R. Alder Wright in 1874 by adding 2 acetyl groups to the molecule morphine found in the opium poppy. So, we took the poppy plant and then he manipulated it and came up with this new medicinal compound.
Yeah.
I say medicinal because when it first came out, it was generally deployed in a medical environment referred to as diamorphine.
Yeah.
So from 1898, 1910, diacetylmorphine was marketed under the trademark name heroin as a non-addictive morphine substitute and cough suppressant.
Yeah.
So, you go to the store today getting Dimetapp. Back then, you'd just be getting gallons of heroin.
And here's the thing: it was also the heroin was a trademark owned by Bayer.
Yeah.
the common headache
Of course.
medicine, yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. But this is Coca-Cola used to have cocaine in it.
Yeah.
I mean, every
It was a simpler time.
every street drug came from something that they were using medicinally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it was.
Yeah.
Alcohol was a medicinal.
Well, I knew it about. I knew it about morphine, I didn't quite realize that heroin, like straight up, it's like straight up China White,
is morphine. I never realized that heroin was that, and it's only called heroin when it's used illegally. Otherwise, in the hospital, it's diamorphine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually marketed it as a cure for morphine addiction before it was discovered that it rapidly metabolizes.
That is tight.
They didn't realize it rapidly metabolizes into morphine, so they were just like creating a whole nother mess of problems.
That's amazing.
Wow.
And unfortunately, as with aspirin, Bayer lost the trademark rights to heroin under the 1919 Treaty of Versailles following the German defeat of the World War. So like, hey, you know what? You got to give back all that territory you took. Also, Bayer, you can't have heroin or aspirin anymore.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, how long ago was that?
1919. So just
Bayer's been around a minute, huh?
Bayer's they're the OGs of the medicinal over-the-counter game.
And I love how they had the trademark for both asprin and heroin, which is the most, like, anytime you have a headache, give me some aspirin.
Well, yeah, otherwise, all the other stuff on the market was like Dr. Fizzy-Wig's head-based ailment tonic.
Next thing you know, Bayer also owned the trademarks to Band-Aid, Kleenex.
Yeah.
Yeah. The dude that created Neosporin.
Okay.
James Sporin?
Is it?
I don't know.
I think he's here today. James, come here, man.
James, bring it out.
No, he's shy.
Yeah.
But that guy, he made a grip. Have you ever used Neosporin?
Yes.
It's insane.
It's insane.
But then he went off and made something else that, like, because he didn't own it outright or something. He's like, I'll go create something that's just like it. And now I guess I don't know.
He's poor.
Maybe he's working on that. I don't know. Are you Google searching it?
I am.
Yeah, look up Neosporin.
Trying to find who made it.
He's also, it was like that a few episodes back we mentioned the people who invented Twister. Mm-hmm. The original guy who invented it with like two other people, and they kind of stole the trademark from him and all that, and stole all the profit from that, and they didn't do anything else with their inventions. But this guy ended up inventing Nerf and inventing other things. So it's like, all right, you guys can have Twister.
Yeah, take Twister, bro.
I'm going to go take everything children play with.
Dude, I did rubber balls. Do you guys have any inventions?
Any inventions?
No.
I had like a character I came up with. Then a couple years later, it actually came out as a major comic book for someone else, like totally randomly. Huh. But that was it's not really an invention.
I'm trying to think. I used to mess around with one time I mixed a bunch of chemicals together when I was in like 5th grade, and it took the varnish off of some of my mother's kitchen cabinets.
You loved that.
So
my little
technically, maybe you made varnish remover.
Yeah.
You made some bootleg varnish remover.
My grandfather, my other grandfather, not the bakery one, was an inventor. Although the one that owned that bakery, he worked on the atom bomb.
Holy shit!
At Los Alamos, I have actual photos of the first atom bomb, like Polaroids.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They're gorgeous.
Awesome.
So he's just got like the atom bomb, and then he's also got like a tray of freshly made croissants.
I have hanging in my house. I have like different like awards from the bakery.
Cool.
But my other grandfather, he applied my brother has all the paperwork. The patent, him getting told no, was to put sound to film. Like my grandfather
That'll never catch on, those talkies.
Nah, he built a camera when he was 12 and stuff.
Holy shit.
But like one of the coolest things, they lived in Reading, okay, which is another town that borders both of us.
On the other side of Wakefield.
Okay.
He had one of the coolest things ever was
Reading Railroad.
What?
Monopoly.
Yeah, Reading Railroad. I mean, dude, you got real Midwest right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, he had this box over the door to his basement, this like little box with two lights, a green light and an orange light. And when the orange light was lit, that meant there was mail. He had it hooked up to the mailbox, so when you pulled down the mailbox, it would light up, so my Nana knew, oh, look, there's mail here. And then he had the other light hooked up to the dryer in the basement, so when the dryer cycle was done, you'd know to go downstairs and get your dry laundry.
I need that for my apartment now.
Yeah,
and
this
my
is what I'm
mailbox
saying.
is right outside my window.
Yeah, and this is what he did, man. Those are some of his inventions.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
I'm not out of my family, I'm more of the creative, like, humorist. My brother's the designer and the inventor. Like my brother recently, him and his buddy, they invented or designed like a stainless steel kitchen workstation, like with walls and everything. So when you're cooking and cutting chicken and all that, it's all self-contained in a, it's like, when you go out to eat in really nice restaurants, their whole kitchen is stainless steel. This is like a little stainless steel tray with walls that doesn't mess up your kitchen and all that.
Right
That's
on.
pretty neat, but
I have 3 inventions personally. One is sugared milk.
Sugared milk?
Yep. So it's just like, tastes like the end of a cereal bowl.
Very nice.
I love it.
You just don't have to put 2 in your coffee. You just get your sugared milk. And then one is severity brake lights. which I tried to patent, but I couldn't have the money. This was a long time ago. Basically, your brakes, depending on how hard you're pressing on the brake, lights up systematically. Yeah, it gets brighter and it extends out like ding ding. Like
so
if you're
you
coasting,
see like blinding lights, that guy's
well, like
it's
like when you ever been cruising on the highway, and you're like, oh look, everybody's coasting here for a second. They're slowing down. All of a sudden, you're like, not anymore, bro. They're like ding 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 ding. You're like, oh look, something's going down. I'm telling you right now, you'll see that in our lifetime on an automobile.
I'm sure. The fact that they have rear-facing cameras so people can back up. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
They have on the new Mustangs, they have that like the 3 blinker where it's like it goes in it's like a 1, 2, 3. It's like a blinker.
Yeah, you know where they took that from? That's from the old Thunderbird. Like the old Thunderbirds used to do that. You go.
So they could do that with. I mean, even if it wasn't just a brightness, you could do different stages of a.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Let me ask you this.
Well, I mean,
I'll give you in a second.
Okay.
But let me ask you this: when you see a brake light, what did you see before the brake light?
Usually, you see the deceleration a little bit.
But I mean, like light-wise.
Light-wise, I see the brake light in front of that car.
Well, you actually see nothing.
Correct.
It's kind of, I'm not looking for an answer really.
Okay.
So, and then I ask you this. I
wasn't prepared for a quiz today.
If your street lights, oh really? I thought we were learning. I thought that's what we were doing. If you see a street light, what comes after green?
Yellow.
But in automobiles, it just goes from nothing
to red.
So it goes green to red. Imagine if that's how streetlights went in L.A.
Oh God. Some people are going straight on red anyway.
Yeah, you know it, bro.
What part of town you're in?
See, well, okay. Devil's advocate here. We already have the green, yellow, and red for stoplights.
Mm-hmm.
If we put that on cars, people would be way more confused. But we do have the yellows for blinkers and the reds for the brakes. So we would need some other form of color.
Bro, you're missing everything.
The problem is,
what I'm saying is the brake lights are going to be in intervals of the same color. That they go. Hey, right here next to the license plate, that's coasting. Then further out, they're pressing down further, all the way out, and it's the same
like
brake light.
Like a pressure sensitive, just so you know how hard they're pressing down on the brake.
I love it.
What did you guys study in college, by the way?
I was a history major.
History major?
I studied audio engineering.
Audio engineering, okay. And where'd you go to school?
Full Sail, a place in Orlando.
Full Sail?
Yeah, it's a trade school in Orlando, Florida. Yeah. And then before that,
so it's like full sail, like the sail of a boat.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
Not like everything's on sale, man.
We're going out of business. Diplomas for
everybody.
It's a hugely for-profit trade school in Florida. But before that, I went to a school called Delta College, a community college where I studied business and marketing and all of that.
Dope.
Yeah. And then after that, for a day, here's a funny thing for those of you out there listening. You might want to try this. There was a school called Saginaw Valley State University in the vicinity, and they had a phenomenal. They had a phenomenal.
You were just on the quest to find schools that no one's ever heard of.
Correct. But listen, this is how. I mean, I was quite the grifter as a child, and 10 years ago. This school had a phenomenal workout facility because their football team was really good in their whatever tier there was. I'm not a huge sports fan, but I like working out. Anyways, they had a phenomenal workout facility, and students could work out for free. So I enrolled, took classes, got my student ID, went back to the enrollment center, dropped all my classes, and worked out for free for an entire year using their.
Wow, that's you went the long way around, huh?
Con.
Well, I mean, it was one day. It was a 2-hour ordeal to get a free gym membership.
That's tight.
That's fair. It's like when they make you sit through one of those timeshare presentations.
Yeah.
Like, I want that boat.
Exactly.
And it was a great workout facility, so
And you end up being I feel like that's something like he would have done in Rushmore. You know what I mean? Like, that's like a snag he would have pulled in that.
Yeah.
I like that.
What did you study in school?
English.
Okay.
But I mean, I started in business, and then I went into sociology, and then I went into marketing, and then finally English.
Yeah, I started in international relations and Japanese, and then my senior year I was like, I'm just going to do history with a focus on Japan.
So
I dated a Japanese girl.
I did. I studied abroad there. Got to catch them all.
Nice.
So I love these two inventions of yours. Let's get to this.
The third one's really not an invention. Okay. We were talking about Monopoly. I wanted to make this board game, like an interactive board game called The Party, where like you put on the DVD and it would be a host of a party, and it was like choose your own adventure. So you'd all pick characters that were showing up to the party, and then you'd be like, well, you can pick A, B, or C. You know you're a recovering alcoholic, but this chick just asked you to go for a walk in the garden. Do you want to go? And you're like, fuck yeah, I'm going. Yeah. And like she's like, have a drink, and you're like, do you have a drink? And you're like, god damn it, like maybe
Of course they have a drink. That's awesome.
That's all.
Speaking of inventions, while we're talking about inventions, this is type of a weird thing. Everybody's always, conspiracy theorists think there are inventions out there to control the weather.
Yeah, did you not see The Avengers? In which, not the Marvel one, talking about the spy thriller based on the old TV series.
Yeah, with...
Sean Connery was the villain. He tried to control the weather.
Yeah,
It was
who
on
else
TV
in
the other day.
Yeah.
That was the Poison Ivy girl.
Uma Thurman?
Uma Thurman was in that, right? She was
That's the reference for her? Poison Ivy?
Well, I was trying to think of...
No, that's
Pulp
okay.
Fiction,
It's
but
totally
then
fine. Yeah, it's okay. It's
I'm
okay.
seeing the red hair,
Sure.
But anyways, there was believe it or not, there's a treaty in action signed that prevents countries from using the manipulation of weather for use as a weapon. There's actually a treaty out there saying, hey, countries, I don't care how
Thank
advanced
God.
you get, you can't
Wow.
use the weather as a weapon. It's the Environmental Modification Convention, formerly the Convention of the Prohibition of Military or any other hostile use of an environmental modification technique.
We call it
Obviously,
NMOD for short.
yeah. And it opened for signature on the 18th of May in 1977 in Geneva and entered into force on October 5th, 1978.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you have aspirations of harnessing the lithosphere, hydrosphere, or atmosphere of outer space
Yeah.
for nefarious purposes, you're violating a Geneva Convention.
Geneva Convention.
So
Haven't they
cut that
used
shit.
weapons, though, to, like, stop weather? Like, haven't they shot, like, missiles and bombs into, like, weather...
Hurricanes.
Yeah, stuff like that. I thought they had done that
maybe.
over...
I
in
think
the-
that's a movie Twister.
something
Did
to
they do that?
explore. No,
they
man.
want-
God, dude.
They launched the Pepsi cans.
Dude, I want to
Send
do
up
that.
Dorothy.
I would
Yeah.
do that if I retired.
All you need to beat a tornado is a leather belt. That's what the movie Twister taught me.
Yeah,
you
with
need
that-
a sturdy handmade leather belt
I
and
gotta
some
imagine
forearm
they've tried
strength.
that, but I don't know if it would work. I mean,
I think that was a metaphor for
Yeah.
just connecting to...
Exactly. Stay grounded.
that's funny. Here's while we're talking about wars and use of a weapon. You guys are familiar with Samsung, right? The company Samsung.
Samsung,
Sure
yeah,
am.
man. I saw a TV on the corner today at Samsung.
Yeah.
Nice looking one.
I got a Samsung phone in my pocket.
A division of Samsung Group, Samsung, they make TVs, electronics,
Sam
etc.
Snug.
Yeah, they made wearable blankets.
Wearable blankets, touchscreen wearable blankets.
Yeah.
The Sam Snuggie touchscreen. There's a division of it called Samsung Techwin, and it was founded in 1977, and the company established a Precision Instrument Laboratory in 1978. And they make tanks, and they've made helicopters and all sorts of weapons and all that shit.
Yeah, in addition to cameras, they Samsung Aerospace Industries, which they changed to in '87, they make these giant tools of war like surveillance devices, K9 Thunders, which are self-propelled howitzers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Samsung makes those.
Well, that makes sense because I have a buddy who's an arms dealer who makes a lot of weapons. You know what I mean? He makes tanks and he makes missiles and stuff like that. And he also looks into they're just making money. They don't
Oh,
really
yeah.
That's
care.
all. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he buys. He was optioning to buy a company that would take when you buy a TV and you have to go get it refurbed because something's wrong with it, and you would go to Best Buy and they're like, oh, sorry, and they give you a new one.
Yeah.
He bought this company that takes those old TVs, refurbs them, and then resells them and stuff like that. Everyone is just the CEO of a football team isn't a football fan. They're making money.
Yeah, he's a business-
they're running a
business making
business.
money.
Yeah. So it's like a general manager of a baseball team. Yeah, they have to know about baseball, but they also have to be highly intelligent in the business world because that's
Yeah.
all they're doing is just
Yeah,
effectively.
just manipulating numbers.
And the president of the United States is not a politician. They're a huge CEO. They're the biggest CEO in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
I mean, it's like,
with some of the shittiest employees.
Yeah, man. Jesus.
it's no different than Bic making pens and lighters.
Or
Razors,
Yamaha, man, making keyboards
everything.
and motorcycles.
Yamaha
Two
Blue,
things that go
baby.
naturally together. How many times are you riding your motorcycle and thinking, man, I wish I could play some sweet synth music?
Tell you what, that Yamaha Blue is a great color. If you're at motocross, they make motocross motorcycles as well.
And they have that. They patent that color too.
Well, it's it's called Yamaha Blue in the motor, because it's a great looking blue. It's a really cool looking blue.
Yeah, dude, who doesn't?
Now that's a nice blue. For those of you at home,
Google Yamaha
we're looking
blue.
at a nice blue.
That is
Yeah.
a nice blue.
And they got the tuning forks. Those are actually tuning forks. Their logo is 3 tuning forks overcrossed.
And you know what a tuning fork is?
I do.
Do you?
I don't know.
I know only because there was an episode of DuckTales where they used a tuning fork to cause an earthquake.
Good lord! A tuning fork it's like one. It's metal and it sticks up and then it
Yeah.
goes into
It's got the
this.
2 tines.
Yeah, and then you ding it on the side of on a table or whatever, and then you stand it, and it resonates. The sound that's vibrating goes through, and then off the table, I think it's probably a C. It's whatever you're tuning your orchestra to.
Well, I knew that. I thought. Sorry, I do know what a tuning fork is. I thought you guys were going to drop some like weird tuning fork factoid on me. They're like, do you know what it is? Like, do you know what's inside? Like the soul.
Well, according to DuckTales,
like Mozart's offspring is trapped inside.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I think that's pretty. Anyway,
that's awesome.
That's like, I mean, that's an old invention. Back to inventions. That's, somebody had to invent that. Somebody had to realize that you could mold metal to where you bang it against something and it would resonate a tone.
Yeah.
Somebody invented that.
Yeah.
Every
single thing that you're dealing with right now was because some guy or some woman decided that they wanted to make something and they did it.
Yeah. They wanted life to be easier, so they invented something. And that people like take so many things for granted.
Everything.
I mean, it's exactly that. People take everything for granted, and it's amazing like how many things are invented. I mean, as cliche and how broad of a statement that is, everything you use has been invented by somebody.
Yeah. And some things some things I just can't fathom at all. I still can't fathom how you point the camera at people and you can feed live it to TV. And feed living isn't even a thing, man. Feed living.
That's what we used to call it back in the day.
Feed living. Oh, they feed living. Oh, they feed living right now. Look at this.
That's just when you are watching video of someone eating.
While
which is what I thought the Food Network was going to be.
Yeah.
You mentioned CEOs of
20th anniversary.
Yeah.
They you were mentioning as we're talking about inventions and CEOs of companies wanting to just make money. Not only do they want to make money, but they want their competitors
to not
make money. Tab Clear. Everybody's familiar with Crystal Pepsi and how big of a flop that was. But most people, at least,
who said it was a flop, man?
I'll fight them. I will fight them.
But me, obviously, everybody's aware of Crystal Pepsi. But are you aware of a Tab Clear? Mm-mm. You're familiar with
Tab, the diet soda marketed towards ladies in the nice pink can.
Yep. Mm-hmm. There was also a Tab Clear.
No.
Yeah, which was there's a book called Killing Giants, and it's Killing Giants, subtitled 10 Strategies to Topple the Goliath in Your Industry. Stephen Denny published an interview with former Coca-Cola marketing officer Sergio Zyman, and basically what it says is they invented Tab Clear just to make Crystal Pepsi flop. Like, they made it so people would misconstrue Crystal Pepsi as a diet drink and not buy it.
Yeah, people weren't quite sure what Crystal Pepsi was, so they wanted to take advantage of that market confusion and put out another mysterious product in the form of Tab Clear.
Yeah.
Did you ever pay for a Crystal Pepsi in your life?
No, it was. I think it was out of stores by the time I was.
My parents did.
Able to drink soda.
By the time I had expendable allowance.
It only lasted like 5 months before it really they pulled the plug on it all.
Well, my point is, I've had Crystal Pepsi.
Yeah.
Never paid for it once.
Really?
You know why?
Why?
Because they were only giving it away.
Oh shit!
It was I remember we did this 20-mile walk for charity, and it was just Crystal Pepsi everywhere.
Quench your thirst with Crystal Pepsi.
Did you just walk 20 miles here, drink some clear soda?
Yeah, exactly. It's along the route,
Yeah. Yeah.
Same with Jolt. You guys don't know about Jolt.
I know Jolt.
I know Jolt. That's East Coast right there.
Is that still around?
Yeah, I think it is around. You know what is still around, unfortunately? Another East Coast invention, Moxie. Moxie, founded in Arlington, Massachusetts.
Is it really?
Yes, Arlington. Moxie actually, that's where they founded it. They have, my mom used to work at Arlington High School, and they used to donate a nice little sum to keep that rickety building going.
Wow.
Dane Cook
Arlington,
also,
another town.
Dane Cook went to Arlington High School.
Yeah, he sure did. We had a ton of great comedians just within a 15-minute mile radius of where we grew up.
Okay, so you mentioned Moxie and Jolt. Do you guys remember Kick?
I do not remember.
There was a Kick. It was like a cheap Mountain Dew, like Jolt. It was supposed to have more caffeine than Mountain Dew, but it was like a cheaper, it was almost like a RC Cola Mountain Dew type of thing.
Actually, it was an RC Cola brand. This Kick stuff. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I love Royal Crown RC Cola.
Oh, I love
Royal Crown.
Royal Crown, baby. It's like that cheap tinny cola, but it was so good.
I love the family, the Royal Crown family, like the Coca-Cola family. They're just jammed for life. But I'm sure RC Cola family, they're crushing it, dude.
That's still like blue collar of the colas.
Yeah, any restaurant that if you go if you go, can I get a Coke? And they just say, yeah, that's fine. That's RC Cola you're getting.
Yeah.
No one's paying for Coke.
Yeah, that's like I used to work at a bar around here, and they anytime when someone would order Red Bull, we would give them a off-brand thing called Lion.
Yeah, I know.
Roaring Lion.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I worked in bars for a long time, man.
When I lived in Orlando, some acquaintances of mine owned a energy drink company that they sold it in a keg, and they sold it to bars for that purpose. And I would do promos with them on occasion, and I'd have kegs of energy drink in my kitchen, like filled all the time, nonstop.
Good Lord.
I'm a caffeine fiend. I don't drink or do any drugs, but caffeine is like, give me.
That is a
caffeine.
drug, dude. Look at you. You're so delusional.
Yeah,
You're so delusional.
Listen, it is.
I don't drink or do drugs. I just fucking pound cocaine and smoke pot.
Acceptance is the first part of the healing process.
Yeah.
Well, I think, unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today's episode. But, Jay, thank you for joining us.
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
I feel like I did learn. There were some words I didn't know.
It's all right.
You know what I mean? I still don't know them, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It's all part of the learning process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you got coming up? This will probably drop in not this coming Monday, but the next Monday. So what do you got coming up in the next month to plug?
So that would be December 2nd.
Oh, cool. So if this is December 2nd, 3 nights from now on Esquire Network, I have a show coming out called Best Bars in America with Sean Patton. So we'll both be on that.
Awesome. You
can always check out the Crabfeast podcast at thecrabfeast.com, or you can always follow me on Twitter, Jay Larson Comedy, or jaylarsоncomedy.com. And you can check those things out. And
sweet.
Keep an eye out for other
So tune in,
things.
guys.
Yeah.
Best Bars in America. What is your? I just have a quick question. What is your favorite bar in Los Angeles?
I don't know, man. There's a lot. It depends. Tell me the night, the vibe, what we're going for.
Where's it? If I want a good like whiskey drinker in Manhattan, where should I go?
I mean, there's tons of places you could go. I guess. I'm not like I like to be at home. I do stand up 4 or 5 nights a week. So,
He's just
no, I mean, I bartended and I know a lot about booze and stuff like that, and I love enjoying them. But, like, I just will pick. Like, if it's a Thursday night, I want to go to the back bar at La Cabana on Lincoln, and that's only open Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And Friday, Saturday's too busy, so I like to go on a Thursday.
Smart.
And then drink tequila and drink Modelo Especials. You know what I mean?
Now, Lincoln, that's on the west side of town. Is that where you're...
Yeah, I'm a west sider, bro.
Yeah, I live in Culver City area.
Okay,
so it's a great part of town there.
Yeah. But then if you like, should we go get a burger? I'm like, yeah, let's go down the corner door, and I want to get that Kobe. They do a short rib burger,
very
which
nice,
is slamming. You know what I mean? And I get a Manhattan there to start, and then I'd probably get a beer to drink with it.
Very nice.
Okay, now, what's in a Manhattan?
Manhattan is you get your bourbon, you get your vermouth, and then you have
sweet
some
vermouth.
bitters. Sweet vermouth.
Okay.
Yeah, do dry if you're a weirdo, but sweet.
That's called something else.
Yeah, I think so. I always get asked this question if like, do you want sweet or dry? I'm like, the right one. But
I would
sweet.
I would never even offer that. I like a Sazerac. That's my drink.
Yeah, that says, what is that, a little absinthe in there with Sazerac?
Yeah, Peychaud's bitters and.
While we're on the topic of this, as a non-drinker, I just know names. What's in a Tom Collins? Is that still a thing?
Tom Collins.
That is if your grandmother's out with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a gin sour and tonic. Maybe.
Yeah, it's gin, lemon juice, sugar, and soda water.
Okay.
Water, yeah.
What about Grasshopper?
A grasshopper.
That's when you mix chocolate and mint.
No, it's god damn it, it's definitely a mint.
It's creme de menthe, creme de cacao, fresh cream, and then you shake it with ice, serve into a chilled cocktail.
I used to have these 3 old cronies that would come into my bar during the day, and every now and then they'd be like, "Let's get some grasshoppers."
No, yeah, it's the old
just for kicks.
It's like the old man equivalent of a mudslide.
Yeah, it's like a Palm Springsy kind of thing.
We've had too many rusty nails. Let's go for
exactly,
one of these.
dude, exactly.
That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, Jay, thanks for
having me. You guys.
a lot of fun. Have you back
Yeah,
if you
sure.
like it. Absolutely.
And if you'd like to talk to us online, guess what? We're there. So you can find the show on Twitter at TWL Podcast. You can find us on Gmail, TWLpodcast@gmail.com. On Facebook, or if you want to talk to your lovely host, Razzle and myself, we're also on Twitter. I am at OsteoFerocious, and Razzle is...
At my name is Razzle 2, the number 2. I haven't changed that yet. I keep talking about changing.
I mean, even if you just type in "my name is Razzle,"
you'll find me. Yeah,
you know.
yeah, Razzle. And
cool.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, we hope you learned something. And as always, eat your vegetables.
Eat your vegetables. Thanks.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.